tournament. At the moment, the points leader is Royd Walker-Holt, and he's also on pole position on bike number 12. So expect fireworks between, I would say, Nick Sutherland there's a good contender, Robert Whittle, Dean Bentley, Doug Stockwell and Royd Walker-Holt out the front. Didn't quite see who went in the first corner first. Didn't quite see that, I'm sorry folks. I was looking at the paperwork instead of the track, and the sun's turning around a bit and it's very, very hard to see on this first corner there, but no, that looks like to me Doug Stockwell there with Royd Walker-Holt in second spot there. Dean Bentley on the Stoke Valley Collision Repairs sponsor machine there in third spot as we go off to the first. In fact, there's Royd Walker-Holt taking the big dive up on the inside of Doug Stockwell. Doesn't make it stick there. That's the same sort of spot where Al Hugenbusen did most of his passing in the last race there here at Taupo. So just flicking through the program at the moment, we're trying to find, there it is, the Daddy Luke Suzuki sponsored class here on the track at the moment. So 8-lap race, points leader at the moment is Royd Walker-Holt on 152, and Doug Stockwell in second spot on 102. Jordan Knowles, 86. Jordan Knowles is qualified in an uncharacteristic 9th on the, the SV650 Suzuki. So a class dominated pretty well by Suzuki's. In fact, all the bikes out there are Suzuki's, with the exception of the solo entrant by Nicky Smith, number 6 in New Zealand last year, and that is the yellow Kawasaki ER6. So Suzuki's dominate the class and are pretty well filling up the good. Overseas, we see it the other way around. The ER6s seem to be on fire over in the UK. I don't know whether the formula's different or whatever, or whether people were just deciding to grab these bikes and do them up. Some of it's about these SV650s have been around for a long, long time, and people sort of go, well, let's go with what everyone knows. There you go, across the first lap at the moment, the first lap of the 8-minute race, and there is Doug Stockwell, still the fastest man on the track, as you'd expect, a 1:43.8. Royd Walker-Holt's a 1:44.035, so Royd is in a good solid second. In fact, it doesn't show that there's 0.2 of a second there, because right on the track there's probably 2 to 3 bike lengths. Royd Walker-Holt closes up. Dean Bentley's on fire. Dean Bentley had I was talking having a beer with him last week, and he wasn't feeling too well. He broke some ribs there before going down south, and they had to call the family trip off, and there's his chance to possibly pick up a New Zealand championship, where he finished so well and won 3 or 4 races in the last season there, predominantly in the wet down south, but he was telling me he was having problems with ribs, and they were still hurting. That's what he broke, ironically, on a children's playground. Silly chimp. He broke his ribs in a children's playground. He did have an adult's drink in front of in his hand as well, but he's probably lacking fitness compared with the other guys, and lacking the race preparation. Well, not the preparation as much, the time on a bike. He hasn't been on a bike since last year, really, except his road bike. So nevertheless, he's still sitting there in a good solid third. I see it's closed up between first and second as they come back into sight down the back straight. The top 5 bikes have cut a bit of a path of their own down there, and there's a good dice going on there for 6th and 7th. We'll look out for who's in the who's on fire in the top 5. Definitely the pack's closing up, and it looks like Nick Sutherwood's the demon breaker there. Nick Sutherwood on bike number 16 on the fireworks sponsored machine. Yes, indeed, that was. There was a gap. There was 3 bikes in, a bit of a gap to the next 2, but he's closed that up. So he's taken in with number 74, and that is Robert Whittle as well. Nick Sutherwood, well, I'll tell you what, he's the fastest man on the track, a 1:41.729. So it certainly showed on that lap. The man is, I said that he'd be one of the top 5 players here, and indeed right on the track. He's not out in the front, but he certainly is on fire with the fastest lap. But it is still Doug Stockwell. Now, Doug Stockwell had, what did he get? He's had 3 third places at the last round at Timaru. The rest of it he was running at 13ths and 16ths, so that puts him about 5th place, 5ths and 4ths at the round at Ruapuna, but he had 3 third places, so he'll be a happy man to lead it. And of course he'll be more happy at the end of the race meeting if he's still leading the race, which by all accounts at the moment, I don't know whether Royd Walker-Holt's got the answer for it. Royd had a clean show down south. He's done 6 races and scored 25 points per race. everywhere along there, and he's also had 2 pole positions now for the first time in New Zealand Superbike history, to my knowledge. In fact, I think it is the first time. I'll just say yes, it is. People are now scoring 1 point for qualifying on pole position. So who do we have on pole? Royd Walker-Holt still gets the pole position, gets 1 point. So that'll explain why Royd Walker-Holt's got 152 points. He's up until now, he's had 150 for his 6 clean wins, including the New Zealand Grand Prix at Christchurch a few weeks ago, the first weekend of 2014. And also got 2 single points for qualifying fastest at those 2 rounds, and added onto it another one. But that won't be in his head at the moment, right in his head at the moment. In fact, he's out in the front now. He's managed to get through there. Didn't quite see where that had happened. They do disappear outside. Points for Robert. That is 72. Bike number 12. 72, but here's bike number 12. And he's cut a track there and out in the front, and indeed he is the fastest man on the track, posting 41.6, which is nearly 1 second quicker than Doug Stockwell's 42.590. So that shows you that he's pulled something out of the bag. Dean Bedley still sitting in that solid 3rd place, and followed by him, Robert Whittle's got through on Nick Southerwood. Those 2 guys have changed in the last lap. So there's been a change between 1st and 2nd, and a change between 4th and 5th on the track. The pack that I was talking about, 2 good bikes here, Scott Kinder and Timothy Jackson, were having a good dice there in the first lap coming down that long straight. They've broken away. They've separated into 2 bikes, and it looks almost like Scott Kinder may be able to reel in that pack of 4 bikes. And I say 4 bikes, it was 5 earlier on in the race, but Royd Walker-Holt's done what he's done before down the South Island and checked out, disappearing off into the distance. Looking for a bit of a fight there going on for 2nd place. It looked like Dean Bentley was up beside Doug Stockwell, and there was just a bike length in it as they disappeared out of sight. But remember, I am seeing the bikes from the back end, and yeah, I can see them now coming down that corner onto the front straight, and they're probably 2 to 3 bike lengths. So action out in the front. Royd Walker-Holt on bike number 12. Look at all the action for 2nd place. The big braking manoeuvre down into this back straight there, and nobody's got really much of an advantage here. Maybe Dean Bentley closed. In fact, Dean Bentley got through there. Dean Bentley outbraked Doug Stockwell. Normally people do the braking before that corner, but he actually braked right into the apex there. So Dean Bentley out in 2nd place in the New Zealand the Pro Twins class. Now you see some of these SV650s out in the Formula 3 Superlight class. They are run to a different specification. The Pro Twins have limited modifications allowed. Some of these guys will actually hot rod them right up there and go in the Superlight class as well. So Dean Bentley in 2nd place, and that's a good showing for him on the Continental Shod machine, sponsored by the Office Relocation Company, TSS Red Baron, who also sponsor the Superbike rider Sloane Frost, amongst other sponsors that Sloane's got. Station Sports Cafe and Bar down in the Station Village, a good place to go and have a couple of beers and catch up with some people. Zany Zeus, Fire Signs, and Stokes Valley Collision Repair. So that's the bike of Dean Bentley. I know the family are all here. Nicky, his wife, and Rex and Jacob, the 2 lads, will be running around. You'll probably see them with a t-shirt on, Go Daddy Go, because they're always keen to come and watch the motorbikes, and are very enthusiastic. In fact, one of those young fellas, if not both of them, are on motorbikes now. I can't remember where they both are. Definitely one of them is getting out there, and I'm pretty sure that's Rex, gets out there and plays in the dirt. But they close up there. In fact, look at that. Royd Walker-Holt hasn't got it all his own way down that back straight. That's Dean Bentley closing right up there. Royd Walker-Holt probably had about 70 or 80 metres on Dean Bentley, but Dean's closed right up there. In fact, I'd almost... I'm looking at the orange. Now, one of the things these guys carry is pretty well orange number boards, but it is indeed... That is Dean... No, it is. It's Dean Bentley out in the front. Dean Bentley. Well... I don't know whether I didn't expect that this round, but more on his fitness and his lack of race time, but Royd Walker-Holt is trying to win a challenge, and Dean Bentley's now into the 140s. In fact, he's 1.4 seconds quicker than Royd Walker-Holt has been on his fastest lap on the track, and 141, Dean Bentley has got 141, and Royd Walker-Holt has a 141.525. I'm just going to stroke through here, and the Pro Twins lap record is in the 139.6s, so we won't expect to see that at the moment. broken necessarily, but Dean Bentley out there in the front, can't quite see whether anyone's got the pinky down. Hadn't even noticed that. The racing is so action-packed up there. Dean Bentley runs a little bit wide coming out of the hairpin there, and Roy Walker Holt closes up a little bit of a gap there, but looking back to that third, fourth battle, and it is indeed Doug Stockwell is being pestered by Robert Whittle, and Nick Southerwood has not necessarily dropped off the pace, but the other guys might have upped the ante just that little wee bit, and Scott Kinder in a lonely ride there on bike number 19, followed by Timothy Johnson, Aaron Shry from Christchurch, Jordan Knowles, Nikki Smith on the Kiwi Bike Insurance sponsored Kawasaki ER6 there. She's out there in 10th place. Had a crash in her last race at the National Championships down at Timaru. Her sponsor Dave Hewer from Kiwi Bike had flown in amongst other people in a helicopter to watch the racing, and of course she has her first crash in several years right in front of them, but the main thing, she had a big smile on the dial, and it said her fastest lap as well. And I tell you who else had done that with personal best was Aaron Shry in that last race. So Nikki Smith in 10th place, and Sarah Elliott on bike number 8 and 11. I know Sarah sometimes can do better than this, so hopefully we'll see her up in about the third and fourth spot, I think, from memory this season. So Sarah Elliott, followed by Jeff Kelly on bike number 56, same number as Craig Shirts, the superbike runner, is doing. So 6 laps out of 8, and it is still Dean Bentley. We've got just under 1 second, 993,000 of second, between first and second. It is all up to Roy Walker Holt to regain his clean slate. One side of him might be thinking that he's got a clean slate of points, and in fact the guy out in front has no threat to him at all. No threat to him at all on the track. He's got a clean slate of points of 6 times 25 wins and 3 times 1 pole position so far into the New Zealand Superbike Championships this season. The other side will be saying he still wants to win. He'll want to win all the races. The other thing is there's not a points threat here. He might lose a couple of points in that, but Doug Stockwell there is sitting in 3rd spot. So Doug Stockwell is 2nd in the New Zealand Championship, so he's still going to gain points over and above him. So there's the big picture, and there's what's on the track in front of us now. They come down for another lap. You'll expect to see the white flag out this time round. The starters there haven't quite actually worked out who's starting the races, but they're starting to fold out the white flag there. They've got to hold the bottom of it because it's a little breeze there, but it is still Dean Bentley on the Stokes Valley collision repaired sponsor machine coming in through the chicane. Another beautiful lap for him. Hasn't made any mistakes so far. I haven't seen many mistakes from most of these people along the line. Next to me too in 4th spot, Robert Whittle starting to pester Doug Stockwell across the start finish line, and still stays in that position at the moment, and Nick Southerwood there in 5th place. The white flag is out. It's time to surrender or whatever. We'll have to see what Roy Walker Holt on bike number 12, sponsored by Duke Performance, Jury Performance Centre in Auckland there. You want motor vehicle tyres, go and see Jury Performance Centre. Mum, Dad and Pop also sponsoring. Now another bit of information about this young fella, is Roy Walker Holt. I've seen him a couple of times already racing this year in the Pro Twin class, but I've also seen him at classic races as well. And there was a thing on YouTube a while back where his front end, the entire front end, the bottom triple crank literally broke, and up at Hampton Downs, and the bike was well wrecked. Unfortunately, Roy Walker Holt and his father also races an old Triumph. I think it's a pre-war Triumph, or the first of the Triumph twins there, the classic thing. So a man that's equally as happy on both a modern bike as an old bike, but right now he won't be the happiest person in the paddock because he is in 2nd place, but still valuable points. The white flag is out. Dean Bentley, 140.4. Roy Walker Holt upped his lap time that last lap to within 0.1 of a second. So it shows he's got something. They come down this long straight for the final time in the first race of the Pro Twins for the New Zealand Superbike Championships. And it is indeed Roy Walker Holt tries to outbrake Dean Bentley, tries his best. Dean Bentley comes back on there and gets on the gas just that little bit earlier. Oh mate, I wish he was down the South Island to challenge this person a bit more often. I don't care who wins as long as Dean Bentley, mate. Where were you down the South Island? Suffering from a child's playground crash. There we go, Doug Stockwell through there, and in fact Robert Whittle got the fastest lap. He was into the 1:39.8. Robert Whittle come through there and got a lovely little wee 3rd spot. Robert Whittle, 3rd spot there going across the start finish line, lying 7th at the points on bike number 74, and Doug Stockwell. He passed Doug Stockwell, who was an early leader in this class. Nick Southerwood, Scott Kinder, Timothy Johnson. We're looking out for a dice between Aaron